Hi, I'm Jim Lather, and this is River of Hope. Today we'll hear the story of Bill Connor's fight against leukemia and witness as a community comes together in an effort to provide one of its own with both hope and strength through the use of this amazing backyard oasis. Join me now as we hear about one man's brave fight in a community effort that will make your heart swell. Cancer is a widespread disease, touching each of our lives in one way or another. For those in the fight against this devastating disorder, the struggle can be an excruciating uphill battle. River of Hope Foundation is a nonprofit organization that, with the help of individual donations and corporate sponsorships, creates tranquil and healing retreats at the residences of nominated cancer patients. These private sanctuaries provide a calming escape, a place of healing, where emotional and environmental stress can be relieved, allowing those who are suffering the opportunity to gain the peace and strength needed to push on and win the battle.
Our mission is to spread a positive message of hope and strength to those battling the struggles of cancer, as well as to raise awareness of this life-changing disease.
We never owned a car. My grandpa always walked or took a bus, and I lived with my grandpa, so we took the bus. And it stuck. So we took the bus, and I always look at buses like little kids look at fire trucks. I look at buses. So.
I'm Nola Connor, and I'm Bill's wife. And about 6 months after we were married, Bill and his son took a trip to the Phoenix area to visit Embry-Riddle Flight School. His son was interested in going to school to become an airline pilot. And his son Jaron complained throughout the whole trip about having pretty bad headaches, and Bill and I encouraged him when they returned from their visit to see a doctor. Jaron was diagnosed with 2 inoperable brain cancers and was given a very grim diagnosis. But he did respond very well to treatment. He went through chemotherapy and radiation and survived 5.5 years.
But if people could only see what's going on underneath, you know, if they only knew how hard it is to lose a son. This is nothing what I'm going through compared to that, nothing.
Bill had been, feeling not well at the time either, but everybody attributed it to the mourning and the grief that he was going through, knowing that, his son was going to pass, and then when he did pass.
Right, Lise?
Right, Bill, how are you?
Well, I don't know, you tell me.
We'll find out.
That's right.
Stay up, please.
Just think, it all started with you and me 4 years ago.
Okay. Get on the edge of the bed, please. Be right with you.
Okie dokie. This is, it's ironic, but this is where I was diagnosed. This same room, the same bed. About 4 years ago. The 27th, it'll be 4 years of this month.
20 days after Jaron's death, Bill had another doctor's appointment because he just wasn't feeling well. And he went and had blood drawn, and the next morning his doctor telephoned him when Bill was out on driving a bus and said, "You have to get to Vera right away because there's something terribly wrong, and we don't know what it is. We think it may be leukemia." So Bill went into the hospital that afternoon, and he was in the hospital for 37 days getting chemotherapy. So Bill did very well until about spring of 2007, when he had a bone marrow biopsy that indicated that he had leukemia blasts in his blood, and leukemia had returned.
And you haven't had anything to eat or drink since midnight, right?
Nope. Thought about it. Almost ate it.
Puffs or anything.
I almost had a bowl of Lucky Charms.
Oh, that's Lucky Charms.
and a banana, but I caught myself.
Good.
The stink ate the banana.
Good dog.
Nothing silences the critics like winning. So that was exciting. We jumped right off the sofa at home. We couldn't believe we were seeing it.
When they originally told Billy he had cancer 3 weeks after his son died and leukemia, acute leukemia, they only gave him weeks to live. And here he is just watching his son pass away, and then this devastating blow comes to his life. I talk about adversity after adversity, and his whole life has been adversity, and now this was the big one.
I wanted to make you sleepy.
Well,
I wanted to make you forget.
Will I be singing soon?
I don't know. You never have before. I don't know why you would now.
We'll get you feeling better.
When his son was getting treatment at Mayo Clinic, he drove him to get treatment in his Prevost bus. And his son's friends who also had cancer would go in the bus and go for rides with him, and their eyes all lit up and they were all excited, and he's perceiving how this impacted these kids. He shared that an idea with Salem Communications. Why don't we start an Angel Bus program to take terminal kids for a Make-A-Wish or to get treatment? And they loved the idea, and he got a bunch of investors, and I think there's like 280 Angel Buses all across America, because Bill Connor came up with this idea.
He had just a terrible childhood. He grew up without a father, and they had no money growing up. They didn't have a car. He never had a Christmas. I mean, it was a really sad childhood. But what it made him was a person with a very generous spirit, and that's been evidenced in so many ways throughout the years that I've known him in the last 14 years. Leading up, culminating in the Angel Bus project that he put together and ran for a number of years.
I guess I consider it a blessing. I was raised very poor, and I guess maybe it's pride, you just you don't want to be a charity case, or I remember, I went to Catholic school, and in St. Paul, Minnesota, and the nuns would bring us winter clothes and toys at Christmas time, used toys, and although we appreciated it, you always felt a little less than the next kid, and so I always tried to take the approach that I wanted to be the giver.
When we come back, we'll learn about what cancer is and how doctors are beginning to recognize the therapeutic value of water in their fight against it.
Life is funny. When you're young, it seems like your sole purpose is to get somewhere else. And every day, you move further away, always searching for something better. Then when you get older, you start to realize that everything you need has always been around you, and that on your priority list, nothing should ever be placed higher than family and friends. The same wisdom holds true for cancer care, because when you're fighting for your life, you don't want to face it alone. At Avera, our nationally ranked cancer program comes to you through 5 hospitals and 15 outreach centers, giving you access to sophisticated technologies and treatments, like digital mammography, intensity modulated radiation, radioactive drug therapy, and the region's only bone marrow transplant program, all while keeping you close to the ones you love. Avera, look no further.
Please join in the fight against this devastating disease. Log on to riverofhopefoundation.org. There you can nominate a recipient or help fund this effort by donating.